Well, hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back in. It's your boy, Oric Blackwood here, and we are diving into the fundamental foundation of the Metamorphosis Society and what we're all about. And we have reached pillar 3 out of 4, which is transformation. All right. If you have not watched the 2 previous ones on disruption and awake, don't watch this one, because you got to do the first 2 to get here. All right. So we're going to talk about all about the transformation that happens after you have a disruptive moment in your life and you wake up to the bullshit that's going on. Only then can we start to really transform ourselves and make ourselves have a life that is ours. And here's the thing, like, it's not about changing the world. We got to do that, and the world's going to change whether it wants to or not. But the transformation part isn't about changing the outside stuff that you can't control. It's about changing you, and it's about evolving into the best version of you that you're meant to be. So then you go into this new, being, and you go into this world and you act differently in it. And it's like this new world that you see. It's how you show up and you turn into this person that can now function in this kind of broken world. And to me, it helps make it a better place. Kind of whenever and it's a ripple. It's like the butterfly effect. Love it. I love a butterfly. When you evolve and you elevate yourself, there's a ripple effect by the people that you're around and that hangs around you and your circle. And when you walk through the world, they feel that off of you, and it triggers something in them to do the same. It's a wonderful thing. And that's why it's so important. That's why this one is called the dark side of transformation, and why you should keep going. Like, you've got to. Okay, again, this stuff isn't pretty. This is not like, wrapped up in a beautiful bow. It's hard shit, but I'm here to make the hard shit fun. We're gonna laugh along the way. But the thing is you got to keep going. You have got to do it for you first and foremost. But know that when you do that and you show up for yourself and you do these transformations, you wake up to the bullshit and you decide, today is the day that I'm gonna show up differently. I can't change the world, but what I can change is me. And by changing me, I know that I'm going to eventually change the world. Imagine if everybody took a second and stopped the fucking bullshit and woke up to all this stuff. And even just a career base, our love of money. If we just woke up to be like, wait a minute, this is bullshit. If the entire world worked on themselves and just stopped and realized, wow, what if we why are we paying for it? We could do all this stuff together as a community for free. We could grow food and you see people doing that. But we don't have to do. We don't have to buy. We don't have to all this stuff. Imagine how much the world would change if every single human being stopped and worked on themselves. That's how we make it a better place. That's how we stop the chaos. That's how we change and evolve the planet. We start within ourselves first. It's what we can control. And all the external stuff is we can't control that. Okay, so why are we focused on so much of that? Because you're living in a system that's broken, making you focus on the external things for validation instead of going inside. Because what did we learn? Because awake people are easy to control. Done and done. But if you do that, if every individual starts to turn inward, wake up and start doing the work, that's how you change the external. It starts within us first. Think about that for a little bit. I'm literally listening to my watch tick, because that's deep stuff. It goes against everything we've been talking about. We got to focus on others. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to blah, 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 and all those things. No. Go inside before you focus on the outside. That's the way it starts. Beauty, it's like beauty's on the inside first. It's like inside out. Yes. Something I learned in this thing, we are so especially in aesthetics, I'm so focused on outside beauty and appearance, thinking we help people and then we make them feel good, then they're going to feel good about themselves. Band-aid over a bullet hole. We should get the inside right, so that way when they look in the mirror, they can see past whatever they're perceiving as flaws and realize, I don't need anything. It's okay to want to take care of myself. But true beauty comes from the inside. Starts on the inside. It's not this external bullshit. All right? So, how do we transform? What does all that look like? We're going to dive in. Step 1, though. Before the transformation happens, you're kind of in this awakening shock. Because it's very disruptive. It's very disorienting. Like when you first wake up, you're just like, what the fuck? That you see all the systems that are broken, the illusions, the conditioning, and you're just like I wrote down, suddenly you don't fit in the world you used to know. You feel lost and it's very uncomfortable. Like it's very uncomfortable. You're just like, fuck. And a lot of people can't handle discomfort. Like a lot, like me. Like I go to the gym and like the other day, Corey, you'll see her eventually. We went on a 6.5 mile hike. Honey, I am still sore. That was on Monday. My legs have filed a formal fucking complaint. They're like, no, bitch. Like, like going to the gym, anything I do, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sore. And then I'm like, I don't want to go back to the gym and feel like that. Cake never made me feel like that. A bag of Skittles didn't make me feel like that, bitch. But I do physical activity, the discomfort, no, I don't want to do it. You can't be like that. You got to keep going. There's beauty in the discomfort. That discomfort is the first stage of you becoming. So yes, it's uncomfortable. Acknowledge it, but don't let that scare you away. Because then we move on into, like I said, the discomfort of becoming. It's not pretty. It's not, oh my God, this drives me crazy. It's not the glow up and the aesthetic rituals. Like all these bitches that you see on social media, they're like light and love and like, my name is Michelle and like I have sage and I have my palo and I have my crystals and like all this stuff. They wear spirituality like a fucking mask, but yet they are so horrible. Like they are some of the most unhealed people on earth. Just because you put it on and you carry the crystals and you burn the sage doesn't mean you've done the fucking work. Like carrying a crystal is not mean I'm a new age person and I am healed, yes. Fuck you. If that is you, it's so disgusting. I can't stand it. No. I love me some crystals. I got my bracelets here. I take them off because I'm recording. You'll hear that and that's like annoying, but I have them next to me. I love them. They are sentient beings. I've learned that like, be careful what you ask for with crystals because they'll fuck your life up. They'll disrupt you more than anything. Hello, Moldavite. That's all I gotta say. And those that know Moldavite, you know exactly, they'll come and fuck you up. But it's like, they're doing all this stuff, but like, have you ever met a spiritual person in real life? Like, did you like follow, sometimes you meet your idols and you're like, I wish I'd never met them. Like, and you're just like, wow. You are, and I know some of you are probably like spying on my YouTube right now. And if you're fucking watching it, you know who you are, you narcissistic piece of shit. And you know that like, you can wear the mask all you want to, but you're not doing your own work. Whew, preaching it. It's not even Sunday, honey. I need a drink of that tea. Anyways, gonna step off my soapbox on that one for a second. But it's not to go up in aesthetic rituals and all this stuff you see. It's more than that. The people that do that, like you'll probably see me doing some of that. Like you join the community when it launches. I'm gonna walk you through some rituals and stuff. But it's because I've done the work and it's authentic. It's like I'm sharing these things with you because I have actually done what it takes about. It's not the glow up and aesthetics. It's the ego death and the shadow work. The shadow work is fucking crazy. But we're conditioned to believe that shadows, the darkness, all stuff, is bad. Like, emotions, like, I can't feel this way. That's bad. That's a bad emotion. Or, nope, got it. No. Well, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to block out the noise and change your view on the darkness and the shadow side. You can't have light without the dark. There's a reason why the yin-yang symbol is white and black. It's balance. Think about it. Beautiful things happen in the dark. You plant a seed, cover it with dirt. It's darkness. But what happens in that darkness? You start to water it. And then all of a sudden that seed starts to be like, I'm thinking I'm gonna bust out of my shell a little bit, put down a little bit of roots, and then it starts to plumb out of that darkness. But if we didn't put it in darkness, it wouldn't have started to grow. When you come into this world, where are you at? You're in a womb. You're in your mom's womb. You think that ain't dark? But it's a happy little place. Like there's a reason why they have like sounds that mimic the womb to help babies soothe, because the darkness is a comforting place. But society makes you feel like darkness is evil, darkness is scary. No, it's not. There's beauty in darkness. Wanna go make yourself uncomfortable? Go to a fucking float tank. People with ADHD that have, I just caught myself. I do not have ADHD. I have a overactive nervous system that I'm working on calming down. There we go. I even caught my own self. Like, just as much as I'm behind the camera, honey, I'm still in this. I'm still in this journey with you. I'm just sharing along the way to try to help you at the same time. This person behind the camera, I ain't perfect. I ain't mastered this shit. Like, if I was, I would be up on a mountaintop, like, levitating, and people would be worshiping me like Buddha or something like that. Like, I ain't that. Like, I'm literally still in the trenches with you guys. But I'm also thriving while doing it and, like, living my best life. And I'm like, I want to share people. I want to bring them along with my journey and help inspire them to do the same thing. I lost track where I was going with that for a second. We're going to have 800 squirrel moments. I don't use my signal light, and it's fine. You're just going to keep up. But I am right there with you with this. I want to get back to what I was doing. Corey, help me. What was I saying?
People have to do the work.
Yes, you have to do the work. We're just going to go with it. It's basically doing the hard things. The womb, the darkness. There we go. I knew I would get back to it. You're conditioned to believe that dark is bad. You're also conditioned to believe, like, what's some bad emotions? Anger, sadness, depressive, livid, like all the bad things, like, you know, scared, fearful, all the things that you, like, a lot of people are like, oh, those are bad. And like, when they start to come out, oh, no, that toxic positivity shit that can come in through, like, no, only positivity here. Fuck you, Tiffany. No, ma'am. Like, these things are coming up, but we're conditioned to believe that those are bad. I'm here to tell you that's a condition. Just like they tell you this is electric yellow because somebody decided this is what color that was. Well, what if they decided that's purple? This could have been purple, but they called it this. So everything is a condition. And so they conditioned you with emotions to be like, oh, those are bad, these are good. No, emotions are just motions. They're energy in motion. And something I learned going through therapy was my bowl for understanding emotions was so fucking tiny, it was like a thimble. And, you know, going through therapy and kind of like working through this in my transformation process is realizing that I had to expand my bowl of understanding of emotions and let them come in, like when stuff like anger or sadness would come in, like, oh, hey, there you are. Come on, you're welcome. You're welcome. Here you go. We're going to acknowledge those, process them, then they leave. Happiness, joy, all those things, they're all equal. They're all, you can, like, as above, so below, like the duality of life. And there's magic in the shadow work. But a lot of people are terrified to go in the shadow work because they don't want to confront their own demons. It's fucking terrifying. I get it. But you know what? You got a fucking choice. Are you going to stay where you're at? Are you going to stay stuck? Are you going to stay asleep? Are you going to stay miserable with your one life that you have, stuck in a career, stuck in a relationship, stuck in a marriage, stuck in whatever you are? Or are you going to do the fucking hard work? You have to choose your hard. Like, what hard are you going to do? Working on yourself and waking up and transforming and thriving? It's fucking hard. Also, staying depressed and miserable and anxious, that's hard too. Like, staying unhealthy, or getting healthy, like going to the gym and getting physically fit and all that stuff and getting flexible, that's fucking hard. But you know what also is hard? Sickness and being weak and like your muscles are stiff and all that stuff and all the disease that comes with that. You want to break free of a marriage that's miserable or abusive or whatever? Yeah, divorce is fucking hard. But you know what else is hard? Staying in a marriage, abusing yourself, and devaluing yourself and putting up with it. So you have to choose your hard, and a lot of people are conditioned to be like, nope, not gonna do that, that's hard, so I'm not gonna do the work. And therefore we stay asleep. It drives me bonkers. No, that stops today, sweetheart. I'm here to put my foot in your ass, and we are going to do the work, and we're gonna have fun while doing it, okay? Yeah. And along the way, like I was saying, glow up and aesthetics, it's not all that cute stuff. It's doing the ego death, the shadow work. And it's also losing people and things that aren't meant to be in your life. And that also triggers our scarcity mindset. Oh, I'm gonna lose. Oh, and that fear of scarcity of like, oh, there's not enough money, there's not enough love, there's not enough this, that, and the other. Like, but I'm telling you, if it's not in alignment with your transformation, you gotta get rid of it. Like, it's just not. Like, it's like if you're trying to lose weight, like, and you got a cabinet full of Oreos over there, it's gonna probably have to go. Because it's gonna be really difficult for you to change your ways when all you wanna do is go deep throat a whole row of those things. I don't like the cookie, I like the cream. I like to scrape out the cream and I can bathe in it, like put me in a bathtub of it. But if like, I'm gonna have to lose that. If I don't wanna go back to sleep and I want a different way of life, I'm gonna have to lose people in relationships that try to bring me down or that are abusive or that like aren't in alignment with that. Losing things, but guess what? It's not a loss, it's a fucking gain. It's called fucking alignment. It's not a loss. You got to change your frame with that. And it's like you're a stranger in your own life, but the discomfort is proof you're shedding what's not for you. That discomfort you're feeling, a lot of people, ooh, I don't like it. Lean into that. That means you're on the right path. Here's the thing. A clear path never makes anybody strong. If life was easy for you, like, honey, those are like your spoiled ass rich kids, you know, your trust fund babies. Like, I mean, they might have their own troubles. I don't know, because I'm not one. But like they go through and like life just spoon fed everything. And you're just like, what? Like, you don't even know what it's like. No, a clear path doesn't, like, they get out into the world and like, oh my God, I have to like wash my dishes. Like the Kardashians, fuck off. Like heaven forbid they have to wash a dish. Like, oh my God, like that's like hard labor. What are you talking about, Courtney? Well, I had to like put a cup in the dishwasher. Like, what is it? Yeah. Wait till real life hits you right in the ass. Like, real life likes to fuck you with no reach around and no lube, honey. Like what a lot of these people don't understand, because their path is so clear and it's like easy for them. A clear path does not make you stronger. If you're going on a hike, if you're going, like, if you're walking on flat land, yeah, okay, easy, whatever. But it's the obstacles that get put in your way that teach you how strong you are. It's the boulder that's in your path that teaches you how fucking high you can climb. And it's the muck where you're like, oh, there's a fence there, but like the only way through is under, in the muck and the grossness and all that stuff. But it teaches you that you can get down there and you can get dirty if you need to, that you can get right back up on the other side of it. A clear path makes nobody strong. It makes you weak, okay? So you learn to love the discomfort and look at it in a different language. Then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I get to grow, I get to evolve. And it makes it a little bit more fun. At least it did for me. And this is the ways, I wanted to share some ways that I transformed, like in things that happened. You know, I had to look and I kind of had to go back and like build myself from the inside out and not the outside in. Like my whole worth was based on, my worth was tied to my productivity. My success was tied to burnout. My love was tied to sacrifice. All these things that I've been conditioned by society, that's hilarious. Society is like, all this external validation and all these external things that I was told I had to do, I had to be, I had to believe, and all that stuff. And really it was about breaking that down. The transformation started being like, no, I'm going to go inward, see what programs I have that are not my own. And that's not meaning all parents, like, you know, yeah, I went through religious trauma and have, you know, dealt with a homophobic family and was still going through some of that stuff. But that doesn't mean everything was bad, you know, like, I had to go through and find what conditioning and the programs that my parents instilled in me that actually were good. Like, you know, to treat others with respect. You know, like when you see an elderly person, like go through, open the door for them, help them. You know, there's things that my parents instilled in me that were great. And thus stuff, you go inward and you find what's working for you and what's not. What is in alignment with you and what isn't. What is programs that are great and what's a fucking virus that you got uploaded with? You know, so I had to rebuild myself from the inside out instead of outside in. And that's where I really realized that when I had my disruption moment of waking up with my face and stuff, when I built a world from the outside in, look where that got me. It's not very stable. Like, you can't do it. Like, if I'm expecting this big robot, like, something's coming to mind, like a transformer, and you're like, yeah, the outer shell looks cool and stuff. Well, all right, that's cool and all, but if I try to like put that together outside with all the inners working and that inner support structure and that inner frame and all that stuff, the outside doesn't matter, it's gonna fall apart. Like, you've gotta have that stable foundation. And a lot of us invert that pyramid to where the foundation is built upon external bullshit. And then like you try to build upon something that's so tiny, it's like very easy to teeter-totter and fall over. Versus if we start over and build up from the inside out and go into our programming and see what's good programming and what's a virus, that is how you really start the transformation process. You have to unlearn everything that you've been told. And bitch, that is uncomfortable as shit. To question things, and I'm still doing it, like literally. One example is the religious trauma I've went through. Like, to question religion, that now it's easy. I know what I believe. I know my spirituality. I know what I don't believe and what was fed to me and bullshit and all that stuff. But to question something that was so ingrained in me was freaking terrifying. Like, I was like, I can't question that. That's wrong. If I question that, I'm going to go into hell. Like, even if, okay, I was like, well, you don't know if you believe, like, but what if it's real? And you're like, it's terrifying. But you have to question everything that you've been told. And you can only do that when you wake up and realize, yeah, you're living in a conditioned society. Everything is basically a fucking facade on that end. And you, what did I write down? Don't let peeps fool you. No one, oh yeah, that's true. Like the thing, like you question everything and like I'm still figuring it out. Like when you, like this is, oh God, it drives me bonkers. When you see the gurus behind the camera, if a guru tells you they got it figured out or all these things, if I sit here and be like, I preach to you, like I was like, this is what you do and I'm holier than that. If anybody tells you they got it all figured out, I don't care who you are. Like I trained with Jay Shetty. I'm a certified life coach with him. Jay Shetty ain't got it all figured out. If he says he does, he's wrong. I'm gonna call his ass out right now. Get me on your podcast, boo. Like, we'll talk about it. He doesn't even have it figured. The people that you look up to, like if you look up to me in aesthetics, you think I had it all figured out. How do you saw a highlight reel, what I showed you on social media? You didn't see all the craziness, the ups and down roller coasters that was behind the scenes that I didn't show you. Well, I probably did show you because I was that real. But like, no one has this figured out. So you got to give yourself some grace. Like we're all on this journey together. Some of us are just trying to help others along this journey. That's what I'm trying to do. But questioning everything is terrifying, but you got to keep doing it. Okay. Lean into that discomfort. The big thing that I had to do is realize, and a lot of people still don't understand, I'm still learning about all this, but like, one of the biggest transformations that I made in my life was shifting my energy, realizing that energy is everything. And when you look at the science behind it, like nothing's really real. I know it sounds like so like conspiracy theory and all that stuff, but if you think about it, everything boils down to energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay, our bodies, okay, are basically a physical manifestation of started out like these little tiny ass little particles that are moving around. Like if you shrink everything down, nothing is really a thing. It's just a buildup, a buildup, and energy and vibration. And then they present themselves as a physical matter. So when Nikola Tesla, there's things like if you want to, or Albert Einstein, which I can't remember, it was him or Tesla, one said that like if you want to understand the universe, you understand frequency, vibration, and energy, vibration, and frequency, you're going to understand the key to the universe because everything boils down to that. And when I realized that like energy is everything, energy is our most valuable currency. We think it's money, but it's really energy. Where energy goes, things flow. So your words are energy and frequencies that go out into the universe and come right back to you. And when you realize that, and we're energetic beings ourselves, we give off energy. And people that don't understand that, have you ever walked into a room of pissed off people and you can feel the tension? You walk into a room and you're like, ooh, this feels weird. That's fucking energy. Okay, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Let's feel our own energy for a second, okay? So I want you to take your hands, I want you to be out here, and I want you to slowly bring them together until you feel a little bit of like a warmth, like you feel like you just grabbed a little bit of a warm ball. Right there, and you're like, well, what is that? You feel like you touched something. Now I want you to slowly like pulse it, and you feel this little bouncy motion in between your fingers. It's like this slow vibration. You're like, what am I doing? Now make it a little bit bigger, and it'll grow with you. Yeah, that, my dear, is energy. That is your energy that you give off. Your heart that runs on electrical pulse, that's energy. You just felt your own. We are energetic beings. And the thing is we can manipulate energy. And if we can manipulate energy, we can change ourselves. And that's the transformation of thought with it. A lot of us, especially in today's society, we're caught in our minds. We're caught up here. And the mind is this like trap. It's our prison. But if we can get out of our mind and into our body and get the energy flowing, that's how transformation starts. That was a big shift for me. Realizing too that like we have this, I like this energetic juice that I like to call intuition. We're trained in a sleep to not trust our intuition. We want to trust the system, right? Because again, people who trust and follow are easy to control. But we are innate beings that have this like energetic system in us, our intuition, and we ignore it. We get up in here so much in our thoughts that we are told to ignore our body. Like when they have anxiety or depression or whatever, like a panic attack comes on, they're like, and they get in their head and they start to overthink. It makes it worse, worse, worse. When really, all it is an alarm. And it's this thing that you're just like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, I see me starting to think, thank you, alarm. Where in my body am I feeling that? Okay, my chest is a little tight. My heart's beating a little bit fast. I feel a little shaky in my hands, and like, boom, it's like, okay, sit with that for a second. That's just energy. And instead of ignoring it and being like, oh my God, and getting up here, more thoughts, that's the last thing people that are anxious need to do. We need to get in our body and silence the alarm. Acknowledge it. It's not bad. It's not good. What's it trying to tell me? What do I feel in the body? And then when you can literally breathe into that and move that in through the system, you are now in charge of your own healing. You are in charge of controlling your energy. Like, you don't have to go grab the medication. Sometimes it's needed. If I'm having a full-blown panic attack and I can't center myself, I'll go to the medication. That's fine. But when you realize that you are energy, and if you, instead of working against your energy and like ignoring it when emotions come up, or like when panic attacks, getting up here and getting to your body and working with it instead of against it, that's where real transformation happens. That's a big part of what we're going to be doing over at my community in Metamorphosis Society. It's a place where you can come and you have so many freaking resources and I'm basically your guide through all of it to help you with all these things that I've done. I'm giving them to you in a community. It's a safe space for you to feel vulnerable, for you to show up, and for you to transform in a safe and fun way. Like, it doesn't have to be horrible. But I want to show you what I've done to like recognize and wake up to energy and energy healing and energy work, and help you tap into your intuition, help you tap into your own power. And when you do that, energy is the key to regulating your nervous system. Getting out of your head, getting into your body, and realizing everything is energy. And when you know that you can manipulate energy, you're in control. We love to be in control. And I love to be in control, and realizing that I can be in control. I don't have to get in my head and be run by all the conditions and all that stuff. That's empowering as fuck, okay? The other thing, I changed my identity. Literally. Like, I don't even look the same. Like, I look back at photo, like what, Corey, you were about to, I love talking, when you meet this woman, I'm not going to talk about too much because I get emotional, but I can't wait to introduce this woman to you guys. When we were looking at photos, and it was like, yeah, you're not even the same person. It was like the spiky hair, all that stuff, and it was not that long ago. And now I'm like, the hair's down, looking like a little, like probably like a hey girl lesbian. I'm here for it. Like, who cares? But I literally changed I changed my freaking name. Like, my name's not even the same. Now my name is in alignment with myself and my true version, and I dropped all the bullshit. And I had to drop the version of me that the system helped build. And that is a big part of the transition system. Realizing that, like, who you are, what your identity is, and is that truly you? Or are you just playing victim to a system that's designed to keep you kind of asleep and make you feel like it's broken? You know what I mean? And if it's not, then what's cool, instead of being like, oh, I don't know who I am, be like, oh, I get to find out who I am. I get to explore. Right now, I'm like, Auric, honey, I'm getting to find out what Auric is going to do. Today, we literally, instead of like work, where did we go? We went to Guitar Center, and this bitch is going to get an electric guitar, and I'm going to embrace my inner Orianthe, and I'm going to learn those like things and just let it freak fly. Like, Auric loves music. Like, Auric doesn't work overplay. Auric doesn't do this, the things that got him burnt out and all this stuff. It is wild when you get to shape your own identity. So yes, choose your own name. Choose who you want to be. Choose who you want to show up as. My God, like, just do you. That's the biggest thing. This is a big one. Another thing that helped me through this is letting go of control. I'm a control freak. I do not like to, I want to be in control, and we want to be in control, because when we're in control, we think like, oh, we can control the outcome, we can do this. I'm here to tell you, you cannot force your outcomes. You just can't. Sorry, you can't do it. But what I can do is align to the person I'm trying to be in order to get them. And then all of a sudden, whenever you get in alignment and release control, it's incredible what starts flowing to you. The universe almost starts rewarding you for like letting go of this thing over here that you're like, the universe is like, yeah, but I got something great for you. But like, no, I want to control it this way. My destiny, I've got to get here this way. And they're like, your way could be full of roadblocks and you don't even know. And the universe is over here being like, release it so you can receive what it's trying to give you. Okay, so releasing control, that's a hard one. But I'm here to tell you, if you go with divine flow, it's a much better way of life. I have learned that, and it's a beautiful thing. And guess what? It allows me to show up in life and be like, takes the pressure off myself. And it's delicious. It's delicious. I'm telling you, it is fucking delicious what comes to you. Trust me. It's hard. Everything's hard, but you gotta choose your heart. This is the big one. You gotta show up and do the shadow work. It's awful. It's hard to face your own demons. It's hard to look at yourself in a raw and real way and realize some of it's your own shit. Yeah, like a big one of mine that I did with like jealousy. I'd follow people and be jealous of people. I'm like, I want that. I want that to be fun. I want to know that. Realizing that jealousy is a negative connotation term that they put it for your desires. Like if you're jealous of something, that means you want it. So that's a big one of people. So when you literally can get real with yourself instead of judging yourself for being jealous, and just be like, hey, what is this trying to teach me? Then suddenly shadow work doesn't have to be that bad. Go into the womb again. The womb's easy. You didn't have bills. It's great. You just had to float around in this bath of like fluid. It's like a little spa day in this perfect temperature belly spa, and had like done. Like you didn't even have to think to breathe. Like it was great. So go to the dark place. That's where you find your light. And the other thing is limiting beliefs. That is another thing that you're going to find that keeps you held back. And you don't find those by staying in the light. Those are those beliefs that have been conditioned in you and all stuff. And I just went through it myself. I had it today. I pulled up my tarot cards and I was just like, on this new journey that I'm on. TMS is still a baby. And it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh yeah. And I was like, my limiting belief, like I can excuse it. And the excuses for limiting beliefs, I'm just like, well, my social media is broken. How am I going to get the word out? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Blah, blah, blah. And this ain't going to do that. And all this stuff. When really the limiting belief, the root of all that was, I'm unworthy. I am not worthy of receiving. I am coming from a scarcity mindset. I'm literally carrying old baggage into this new thing. And I'm sorry, you cannot transform dragging around no baggage. You just can't do it. And a lot of that old baggage is limiting beliefs, the way you used to show up, your habits that you have that are nasty. Woo, preaching to the choir over here. And like your own shadow side. That's where this transformation happens. It's the key to it. It's one of the suckiest parts if you think about it that way, but it's not. If you realize the shadow's cute. The shadow's the place where the seed goes to start growing new growth. Okay? Don't be afraid of the dark. It's wonderful. Now, as you go on this journey, you're going to feel very out of place because you kind of are, but that's normal. Like this new you is going to be in a world that you really don't want to kind of fit anymore. Like I said, things are going to start to fall apart. People are going to start leaving. Things that are not meant for you on this journey, they're going to leave, but that leaves room for you to receive what is for you. Okay? It's okay. You got to live in that discomfort. And the reason why the discomfort and it feels so out of place is because you are no longer the same person, and you're not the person in this system that raised you. You literally woke up to it and like, yeah, this ain't it. And it feels very disjarring and disorienting. But that's why it's important. Don't go back to sleep. Don't hit the snooze button. I know the covers are warm of comfort, but your comfort zone will fucking kill you faster than anything. Let that marinate. Okay. And here's the thing. The world doesn't need more people conforming. It needs more people transforming, willing to do this work. It's difficult. It's hard, yes, but it's worth it because you're freaking worth it. Okay? And here's the thing. The final message of this is, at the end of the day, you're worth it. Like, you are so deserving to have the life you want to freaking have, to show up as the person you want to be and not what society tells you to be, to live the life on your terms, to redefine what success is for you, to have the life you want to have, to be the person you want to be. It's your life, nobody else's. They're not in control anymore. The system's not in control anymore. Your career's not in control anymore. These conditionings, they're not in control anymore. You are, and you're worthy of that. You have to believe you're worthy of that. That's the key. And here's the thing. You want to make transitioning fun? Transitioning isn't about fixing. Let that sink in. Transitioning is not about fixing. That's society. We live in a society that wants you to think that you're broken, therefore you got to fix yourself, you got to fix that and the other. Bitch, I'm here to tell you, they ain't nothing to fix, because you ain't broken. You are fine just as you are. Even without all this stuff, you are fine just as you are. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of abundance. You're worthy of a career that lights your soul on fire. You are worthy of love and a partner that respects you and pours as much into you as you into them. You're worthy of all of that. And just because you might not have everything that you desire right now doesn't mean you're broken. You're comparing yourself to a fucking broken system. Why am I going to compare myself to something that's broken? Why? When you wake up and you realize that the system is broken, that's the key. You got to wake up and realize the system's broken. And then all of a sudden, if I'm comparing myself to the system, I'm not going to feel good enough. I'm not going to feel worthy. I'm not enough. I got to do more, do, make, bye. But if I wake up and realize the system's broken, why would I compare myself to that? Why? Well, I'm a motherfucking Mercedes. I am a Maserati, bitch. Why am I going to compare myself to a junkyard coupe that's been there since the 70s? You wouldn't do that, would you? Well, I'm here to remind you that you're not broke. There's nothing to fix. You're a damn Maserati. You're the Ferrari. You're the Lambo, honey. And the system is the junkyard heap. Stop comparing yourself to it. That's how you make transformation fun. When there's nothing to fix and it's all about becoming, I get to become this new person. I get to become the person that enjoys life, that puts a smile on my face. I get to become the person that has boundaries. I get to become the person that shows up for myself. I get to become the person that pours into myself before I pour into everything else. I get to become the person who I want to be on my terms, not what they tell me I have to be. I get to choose me. I get to choose who I am, what I do, what makes me happy, what makes me successful, and not what they tell me I have to be. Suddenly, transforming is something I want to fucking do. It's all the way you think about it. And remember, everything's energy. What you think about, you are. Yeah. Oh, that was good shit. And hell, I'm preaching to myself too. I love this. This is my life notebook. I could do no, I'm like, no. I love when I get my mind going and I wake up to stuff and I learn things. I like to write it down. I'm like a scribe. And this is literally, I'm sharing my life journey with you in hopes that it helps you do the same thing. I am working on myself and I want to share that with the world so you all come along with me on this journey to a new way of thriving, my dear. So that's why it's the third pillar of the Metamorphosis Society. You got to disrupt and awaken up to it, then we can start the real work. And it doesn't have to be daunting. It can be fun. It can be a blast. Because now there is a reason to transform. And it's one that lights you on fire. So now we got to tune in to the next video when we reach the final pillar, thriving. Yes, queen, because you deserve that too. And here's the thing, there's a key to it. It's not a destination that you have to wait for and all this stuff. It can happen right now in the messy, honey. And I'm going to show you how I've been doing it and tell you how to do it too. So, like I said, you are worthy. You are loved. You are enough just as you are. You are a success, not a work in progress, I'm telling you, okay? All right, that was it. I'm going to hydrate. and I'll see you next time.